Hello everyone, I'm Brian Daggett. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to change my snare drum head and tune it up for y'all. Now this is a very subjective process. Everybody does it different. It could be based on the style of player, the style of music they're playing, the snare drum itself, could be the depth, could be the wood, could be the metal. A whole bunch of stuff comes into play when tuning your snare drum. So don't take it as I'm doing it the right way, because I don't believe there is a right or a wrong way. It's based on how you want it to sound. So with that being said, I'm going to show you my process and how I do it. So starting, I'm going to take my drum key and I'm going to go around each screw and loosening them until I can get them about finger loose. Then I'm going to remove the screw from the hoop. Now what I like to do, an easy little trick, is I like to grab two screws, one on each side, and just kind of get them out of the lug by hand. Sometimes these little buggers don't want to come out though. There we go. This drum is actually a used drum that I bought off of Reverb, and I used to have this drum probably about 15 years ago. I'm very excited to have it back. It's a 90s Tama Japanese Star Classic G Maple with an abalone inlay. The snare is absolutely a beast, and I love it. I love everything about it. The only thing was that I couldn't get my fingers in there. So with this Tama key, the one thing I love about this key so much is that you see this little knob right here at the top? I can actually spin that with my finger. So it's almost like I'm spinning the screw at the top with my finger. It's not magnetic, so from time to time it'll just go flying off, and I've done that like a million times. All right, I'm ready to go, ready to get my hoop off. Let's see if it'll come off nice and easy. Got a couple of hang-ons. Still some hang-ons. Yeah, this thing just don't want to come off, does it? There we go. Let's get that guy. Let's get that guy. There we go. All right. I'm just going to put this down to the side. There. Now you can kind of like take a rag, polished cloth. I usually just take my fingers and just go around the edge and kind of get any loose sawdust or anything like that, any kind of debris left over from you cranking on this thing, and get it off of there. All right, let me get my new head. So today I'm actually going to be putting on an Evans heavyweight snare batter. It's 2-ply, it's a 10 mil. What I normally prefer to put on drums like these and all my snare drums in general is an HD dry. There's something about that head that I just always go back to. You know, you always have that one thing, if it's not broken, don't fix it kind of mentality. I always go back to that head for some reason. I just love the way it sounds on any kind of snare drum. I could put it on a metal snare, put it on a wood snare, just love it. So I got the heavyweight here, and what I'm gonna do is, because I'm a little OCD here, I like to take my badge, where my badge is, and I always like to point my badge outward facing. So what I like to do is get the Evans logo right there at the top. Just kind of line it up, make it look nice and neat. All right, now I'm gonna grab my hoop, I'm gonna put it back on, and we'll get this sucker tuned up. All right, so here we are, we're fitted. Everything looks good. What I'm gonna do is go around and just kind of finger tight the screws into the lugs and then we'll use the key. All right, now this is where this tool comes in handy a lot. Remember the top part I was telling you about, that little nub? Let's see if I can twist it on there without it going flying across the room. Now what I'm doing is, as I'm twisting this and letting it, screw in, I don't want to give it any tension yet. I just want to twist it until it basically stops. It's still going to be super loose, but that's okay. Just twist it in there until it stops. There's no particular order I'm doing this, by the way. Not yet. Okay, now this part is what I like to call the feel test. I don't use any drum dials. I don't use any tension keys or anything like that. I base it off of my touch. Now, it could take you some time to get used to this method, I guess. Not really a method, it's just how I do it. But what I like to do is basically feel when the screw has reached a certain tension point going into the lug, and then I stop. I don't want to over tighten it yet. I'm not trying to crank it down. I just want to make sure that the screw is actually sitting flush inside of the lug. And by doing that, I'll start over here and I'll just kind of turn it very loosely. Keep turning it until I can feel a little bit of tension, then I stop. Then I stop. Then I come over to the next one. Now I'm going across, so I'm going to do that crisscross pattern. Same deal. I'm just going to kind of twist it lightly, very lightly, until I can feel some tension, and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to come up to this one. Same deal. Twist it until I feel a little bit of tension, and then I stop. Over to this guy. See, I'm being very light. And then I just kind of feel a little bit of tension, then I stop. Come over here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Voila. Now this is the part where I'm going to actually put some tension onto the screw. So what I like to do is about 3 half turns on each screw going opposite from one another. Now what's going to happen is, as I'm tightening this one down, it's going to loosen up some of the other ones that I tightened in by hand. It's not a big deal. Just make sure that you tighten them back down to where they just barely stop before you start putting your half turns on. There we go. Okay, now this is the part where I put a little bit of pressure onto the snare head to make sure that I can stretch out the glue a little bit. I don't use my knuckles, I don't stand on it, I don't do anything super drastic. So what I do is I just take the palm of my hand right here and I just kind of push in a little bit. Nothing major, you know, every now and then you'll hear a little bit of pop or a little bit of crack or something like that, but for the most part, it's good to go. All right, now I'm gonna put on some serious, half turns. I might go one, I might go two, it just depends. And this is where I'm gonna kind of alternate around the snare a little bit. I think I'm at a good starting point. The head will stretch, so the more playing you do on it and the more recording you do, you are going to have to go back and maybe tighten up a couple of lugs here and there. Particularly when I play live, these two right here, because this is my strike point, they get very loose a lot. So, but yeah, let's see what this thing sounds like. Get some sticks. Sounds pretty good. Now, also, you can do like a little tap test on your snares here. And what I do is the slightest little touch. And if you can hear those snares rattling, then you're about good. Now, if you have your snares too tight on the bottom, if they're stretched out too tight, you'll tap and all you'll hear is like the tom of the drum before you actually start hearing the snares. Loosen them up a little bit. You should be able to, on the bottom, run your fingers across them, and they kind of give you like a little bit of play down on the bottom there. That lets you know that they're not too tight. So tap test, here we go. Yeah, oh yeah, that's good. Again, I love this snare drum, and I had it 15 years ago. I just recently reacquired it, and I'm going to be using the crap out of it because I absolutely love this thing. This thing's a beast. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative for you guys. If you have any questions, comments on how I could maybe make better videos for you guys, or have any suggestions, please feel free to let me know. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day to check this out. Hope this helped you. And yeah, subscribe if you don't mind. All my social media is bdags79. YouTube channel, obviously you're on it, so if you could hit subscribe, I would really appreciate it. I hope you all have a great day. Peace. I'm out of here.